Hi guys, this is Man500 here, back with another video. I know it's been a while since we've been sitting here, especially for these talking points that are sitting in front of you right now. It's been a really long time since I've done a knife review or anything that's in an order that I can put it into talking points that I can talk about. Not a lot of that going on lately. I've been mainly focused on hunting, getting ready for fishing season now. Duck hunting's over. Rabbit snaring, I still have 1 week left there to upload of rabbit snaring, so been busy with all that, so I haven't had really a whole lot of time for knife reviews and reviews of that sort, light reviews and stuff like that. But they are coming along. I know they might be slow coming out, but I still plan on putting more of these videos out. I'm still very interested in knives, and was actually sitting at my computer yesterday looking at my subscriptions. Seen a couple Nut and Fancy knife reviews and stuff, some new ones that he came out with. Hadn't watched any of his videos in a long time, and thought I'd flick them on. It kind of inspired me to sit down, take 15-20 minutes, and talk about a knife. So the one we're going to talk about today is this one right here. This is the Leatherman Rebar. And I've tried to review this once before, but I wasn't feeling it at the time. It was when I first got it. I've had this multi-tool for almost a year now. Leatherman introduced this at SHOT Show 2012, 2013. Somewhere's in there. It's a fairly new tool, and you'll see the resemblance right away. It looks like it's kind of resemblant to the Super Tool 300. And let me put this on the table right now. I'm not a big Super Tool 300 fan. It's not that they're not high quality, which I'm sure they are, because it comes from Leatherman, and I'm sure that they're very high quality tools. It's not that, it's just that the tools that they offer are not ones that I would look for in a multi-tool. To give you an example, my favorite Leatherman multi-tool is the Leatherman Blast. So really, some of the tools that the Leatherman Rebar and Super Tool 300 offer are not really the ones that I would go for right off the bat, because they just don't fit my everyday lifestyle and what I'm doing. Now for you, it might fit with you what you do in your lifestyle, but for me, I like sticking to, well, here it is right here, I'm carrying it today, the Leatherman Blast. Discontinued, unfortunately, by Leatherman. Kind of sad about that. I read that on their website there the other day. It was under retired multi-tools, so I'd assume that means that they're not making any more of them. But I really love that multi-tool. It's a great multi-tool. Just flipping through the Cabela's catalog just to see if I could find an MSRP for that, for this tool right here. But anyways, that's kind of my intro. I'm going to try and keep it, relatively short, 15 minutes or so. So that should be alright. So right off the bat, tools. What kind of tools does this thing have? And I mean, it's standard to most Leatherman multi-tools. Right off the bat, first thing you notice is that there's a measuring tape along the top edge of that multi-tool there. It comes in handy sometimes for the odd thing that I do here and there. And it's on a lot of multi-tools, but I don't ever say it seems like. But there it is. Of course, one of my favorite parts about this multi-tool is the plier head. You've got your regular pliers, needle nose pliers, fairly thick. You can see the head there. And also, what makes it one of my favorite parts is those 154 cm hardened steel. I don't know if it's hardened steel, but it's 154 cm removable by an Allen key wire cutters, hard and soft. So that is probably one of my most favorite parts about the Leatherman Rebar, Super Tool 300, Super Tool 300 even, if you want to go back a couple years. That is my favorite part about the whole lineup of tools, is those removable plier heads. I will also say, with this tool, the first thing I noticed is that you can actually shake the tools. You can hear them rattling. Even if I'm shaking it pretty hard here, you can see that, but even if I'm not doing that, you can tell that it's not really Leatherman quality when it comes to that, and it kind of bothered me when I first had the tool, and it kind of turned me off from using it a little bit. I don't know, it's just something that I haven't seen from Leatherman before, and it kind of bugs me, but I guess live with it, I guess. So here's the main blade right here, 420 HC stainless. As you can see there, it's a very nice blade. It's a very handsome blade. I am just partial to this kind of design. It's just an awesome blade design. As you can see, there's a little bit of rust there, but before you go hollering at Leatherman steel, this was around salt water, so that could be one of the reasons why that is, and it's been around some other snowy conditions as well. Right beside that, I'm just going to pull these all out. Right beside that, we have a big flat head and all, which I find very handy for removing knots. That's the big thing with this. Removing knots with this is a dream, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. And a small flathead screwdriver and a file, and this file is just awesome. I don't know why I like the design of it so much, maybe because it forms to the multi-tool, but I really like how they did that there, and as you can see, there's some more rust there. Got some nice, and there's your edge there where you can do some different stuff with it. So that's there. And also another good thing about this, which kind of beats out the Wave series, is your lanyard hole. It's right there, and it folds down just like any other tool in the whole tool part of it. So that works out well because it's easier to get to and it's fairly convenient. Right here you have a rescue cutter, and you know what? I read a comment the other day on a review that I've seen on the Leatherman tools, and they say this isn't really a rescue cutter. Like, if you think about it, how often are you going to be rescuing somebody? Everybody calls this a rescue cutter, but how often are you going to use it like that? So the person, or I can't remember who it was, proposed that it should be called just a general knife blade, and that's really what I use it for. Just a variety of different tasks that you might not want to use your main blade for. One thing to remember is that it is serrated, so a little harder to sharpen, and I don't know if that would keep me from using it or not. It probably would, because like I said, this stuff is hard to sharpen. So that's that. 3-inch main blade, and I would assume that it's a 3-inch rescue cutter, I guess you could call it. The three tools beside there, as you can see, have the classic Leatherman opener, your Phillips head, and your saw. Excuse me. Just another standard saw that Leatherman's put out here. Very well done. One thing I will note about this, I've already talked about the 420 HC and how it's a decent steel, but you can hear that the lockup isn't as authoritative, I should say, in this tool as it is in others. So you can hear them tools wiggling around, which once again surprised me, because I know Leatherman. I own a lot of Leatherman tools, so that kind of surprised me right off the bat about the Leatherman Rebar. Weight is very decent. It's one of my lighter multi-tools that I've got from Leatherman. Main blade is 2.9 inches. I was reading the wrong part of my talking points here. Close length is 4 inches. You can see that from the measuring tape on the arms of the multi-tool. This also comes in a black oxide coating, and I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but that's one of the options for this multi-tool if you wanted to. It's got 17 tools. I just showed you them all to you. It also has a crimper in here. I don't think I mentioned that, but inside there it has a crimper. I've never used it before, and I think some of my other Leatherman tools have it, but I've never ever used it before on a Leatherman. Weight, 6.7 ounces. That is really decent considering that the rebar, which I brought into the screen during the main part of my video, or the first part of my video, is 6.9. And the rebar has one more tool than the blast, and this is 6.9 ounces. So take that into consideration. It is a very reasonable weighted multi-tool, and definitely one that I enjoy carrying because it disappears when you either throw it in a bag or on my my belt. So it's very good for that. Comfort, ease, or use. Not a big fan of this, just the stainless steel handled. Leathermans because it transfers heat so easily. So what I mean by that is if it's really cold, you can feel it in the multi-tool if you're not wearing gloves. I wore gloves actually a lot this year at rabbit snaring, so it didn't really bother me a whole lot. This was my main tool for rabbit snaring this year, but this is one of the advantages, and this is where you gain some of your weight from the Leatherman Blast, is in those Zytel inserts. And I don't know if they'll ever bring those back or not, but I would like to see them. Some people say they weaken the multi-tool. I've never had an issue with them. So, to me, being in Canada, it's cold here. We get temperatures from 10 degrees all the way from -30 in the wintertime. So, I like something that doesn't transfer a lot of heat. And unfortunately, I find this does transfer some heat into your hand, which is a little iffy for me. But it's easy to use, comfortable in hand. Like there's no spots where it hurts when I'm cutting wire or whatever. Size, like I said, 4-inch closed length, probably like close to a 6-inch open length, but I don't worry about the open length much. Just as long as it's a fairly compact size, and most of my tools close to 4 inches, so that's not too big of a consideration for me. The sheath is just a regular nylon sheath that you find anywhere. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit. On the back there, see, you can carry it vertically or horizontally depending on what you feel, and it's a Velcro snap, and I find the Velcro is starting to wear out on me, but I've had this for a while now, and I don't know, it's a decent sheath. It's fairly lightweight, and you know what, if I can put my multi-tool in it and go with it and not have to worry about losing it, I'm fine. But like I said, that Velcro is getting a little weak on me, so I may look into getting a new sheath for it at some point in time. Category, I probably categorize this as just your all-purpose, around the house, EDC type multi-tool. You've seen it in my EDC 2013. It's definitely a top contender for me for that. The only thing is, once again, the rattling of the tools inside the handle, they do sometimes come loose and fall out. Your main blades aren't so bad, it's your tools that kind of tend to fall out a little bit too easily for me. Other than that, it's a very high quality tool, just like you'd expect from any other Leatherman. Now, I don't know whether it's a design flaw in this particular multi-tool here, if that goes for the whole lineup, but that was one of the things I noticed, and it really took me off guard when I first got it. Price, I think this was around $60 or $70, which is really good. It's good to see Leatherman starting to drop their prices a little bit more. On some of them, you'll still find your high price ones, $120, $130, but if you're looking for a high quality tool, Leatherman is definitely the way to go for me, and I continue to add to my collection and do some research on what Leatherman is coming out with in the future. Extra features, like I said, it comes in a black oxide coating. One of the downfalls, I'll say this, I know this is the extra features section, but I'm going to put this in. There's no scissors on this multi-tool. That's not a huge downfall for me, but I would like to see some scissors in this multi-tool. But that goes with the Super Tool 300 as well. There's no scissors in that multi-tool either. So I guess I kind of had to follow that kind of, I wouldn't call it a rule, but a standard in the Super Tool 300 lineup. But all in all, a great multi-tool. Woodsman 500 here, guys. I know it's been a long time since I've done a knife review or a multi-tool review, so stay tuned. I still got more to come, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, and I'll do my best to answer. Either you have a question, comment, complaint, leave it down there. And thanks a ton for watching, and almost hitting at 900 subscribers. So thanks for watching, guys. Woodsman 500 here. Stay tuned.